Okay, guys. Hello, everyone. My name is Arnas Stasiulis. I'm a founding engineer at Sintra, and these slides are going to be a bit different, I guess. Who here hasn't heard about Sintra? Not that much, actually. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. Okay, so I guess my goal of this presentation is to give you kind of a look inside our kitchen, which looks something like that, and kind of share with you how we're building an AI-first product, AI-first startup. So let's go. Let me set the stage with some context. So Sintra has launched about 1.5 years ago. Today we have over 50,000 active paying subscribers. We have over 50 employees at our company, not the Danske scale, but pretty good. And we've made over $20 million in revenue. Now, I'm saying this not to brag, but to kind of give you some proof that what we're doing is working kind of in a way. And the things I'm going to cover next might have some value. So in the next 25 minutes, my goal here is to present to you what Sintra is, how we got to where we are. And obviously, the big topic of today is AI. We want to cover how we're thinking about it in our product and also how we use it internally. Well, and the last thing is obviously the hard lessons learned of building on a startup in the AI space and what might be coming up next for us. Okay, so let's start with what is Sintra. Sintra is basically these guys. It's an app for small business owners that provides you AI employees that have a shared context layer and access to tools and integrations. And the sole purpose is to kind of help small businesses grow. If it's not clear yet, bear with me. The AI employees part, we have 12 of them. We call them helpers. They look something like that. And the idea is that each helper is an expert in one business area, for example, social media, copywriting, emails. And we want to make them work together with each other to accomplish business tasks for you. The next part is obviously the shared context. What it is, we call it Brain AI. It kind of gives our employees the needed information to be able to help your business. We gather it proactively, and we also allow you to upload anything you want manually to kind of speed the process up. And the last part of our app is tooling. Tooling is basically a way to give our employees a way to do tasks for you. You can connect external apps like integrations, Instagram, Facebook, Gmail, calendar, that sort of stuff. And with those integrations, access to your accounts, our employees are able to basically handle the chores, answer emails, suggest perhaps replies, review, summarize your calendar, and also post on social media, handle marketing for you. That is the concept. Now, why are we building this? And the reason is this. To give you some kind of context, small businesses account for around 50% of the world's GDP, so quite a lot. And the reality for majority of small businesses though, is that they're founders, entrepreneurs, they're struggling, they're stressed. They basically created themselves a job where they are overworked, underpaid, have to constantly manage a bunch of things, not just the thing, the product, the value they signed up for, to provide. And we don't think it should be that way. We think that these people shouldn't be stressed, that they should focus on the thing that they love doing, and that the whole hectic chores part should be done for them. So the point of our app is to help them fix two main business constraints for a majority of those businesses. First one is get more clients to get more revenue. This is the bloodline of every business. But another thing is save entrepreneurs time, because if you have time, you can allocate it to the one thing that matters, which is fixing the main business constraint at that very moment. Then you can unlock that business to grow. So now that you have some context about what we're trying to do with Sintra, I want to give you kind of look into how we got here, from the very beginning, how we built our startup. And it's going to be an entertaining one. So Sintra started with an MVP, and I want to make sure that these are going to be highlights. Obviously, I cannot cover everything in 10 minutes, so these are going to be only the best parts. We started with an MVP to kind of test the concept of building AI employees. Do people even want that? Why is ChatGPT not enough? Why would people want like kind of different helpers? And the test went successful. It really went great. We saw that at first we thought that, okay, maybe one helper is going to be the most popular one, and we're just going to build a product around that. But what we saw is that they were using them all. They needed help from all the angles, and they really liked the fact that they could see these business areas separated into these containers. It really helped them understand what they need to do as a business. So we decided to make this into a real product, not just an MVP. Four of us in the product side, we basically scrambled for 2 weeks or a month and built the first version of Sintra. This is us sitting in a WeWork where we launched it to the first beta users. We also made some pretty good marketing to generate, make people talk, and that's what started shipping the thing live to production. Was a pretty exciting day for us. At the first start, it was getting some traction, but not super fast. But it kicked up pretty fast, and we started scaling. Call him. Anyway, then we saw quite good growth, and after 6 months, questions started coming into our heads like, where should we build this? Is Vilnius the place to build an AI startup? Because back then, around us, there weren't many people doing that, and we thought, maybe we should go to the place where the AI is happening, everybody told us. But we didn't want to just make this decision on a whim. So what we did, we basically flew to SF for a month, gave us a month to figure the San Francisco area out. Is it worth being there or not? This is us living, obviously sleeping on the floor, as every startup should. And it was a pretty good culture shock to arrive in a city where everything is about tech. Back then it was just SaaS apps. If you go to San Francisco now, every billboard is about AI. So that thing is changing fast. So it was pretty big culture shock. Yet, to be fair with you, we didn't have much time to explore the city because our app was scaling super fast. We experienced crazy growth, and we basically had to stay inside the entire time, fixing our app from crashing. So that was that, and we basically came back home to Vilnius and really thought about, okay, do we want to stay in San Francisco? Because it didn't really click. I mean, yeah, there are smart people there, but what's the point of building a business in a completely another country, building value for someone else? Why not go home and build something big there, help the economy, make your country proud? That's why we made back then and there, a hard choice to stay in Vilnius and get the ball moving there. We saw pretty good success of that fourth quarter in 2024, and on that great trajectory, we were able to raise a 17 million seed round. And what it allowed us to do, not really much changed because we were the same company before and after the raise, just building a good product, I would assume. Yet people started noticing, and it became so much easier to attract the right talent, like senior people who back then were like, guys, what are you doing here? It's not serious. After the money, they thought it's serious. So a note on that. And where we are today, I guess, now being able to attract the top talent, the best of the best in Lithuania, we are heavily scaling the team, now 50. We are building the right processes, not just vibing like we were before, but we're also heavily focusing on improving our product. And here are some photos of us doing that. Burning the midnight oil. I don't know what's that. This is us planning the real business thing, quarterly plan, what we're gonna focus on. And this is us meeting the guy making business deals. This is Sam Altman, by the way, if someone doesn't know. So that's the fun part. Now let's focus on the real stuff, which is our philosophy on AI. What I wanna basically cover in the first part is how we are even thinking about AI and applying it in our product. And then I guess I'll share to you how we're using it internally to speed up processes as well, so that you can come out of the talk with some value. So my mental model is pretty simple. Pretty simple. You have output, you have input, you have LLM black box in the middle. I think everyone can understand that. What we want is to maximize the output, make it as good as possible. How do we do that? Well, we look at the left. We have a black box, that's the LLM. Well, we don't build LLMs, but we can. The good thing is that we can choose the best one on the market at any time for our users. What we really focus on, though, is the inputs on the left. And I see inputs as being 3 parts. So you have to have a clear goal, what you're trying to achieve with that LLM call. You have to give it relevant context, what guys at Nexus were speaking about, super hard problem. And you have to have good tooling so that those LLMs, they can do actual tasks. They can do job for you and help you in some way. So here's how we're solving that. Clear goal, pretty simple. We're in the business niche. Our goal is to help businesses grow and fix any constraint that they have right now. Relevant context, the concept is simple, implementation not that easy though. We're just trying to gather as much of relevant information from users, and we believe that in some way we're gonna be able to apply that information to bring relevant results. And obviously for good tooling, we're just super quick to adopt the best thing on the market to provide to our users. So obviously it's all not that easy. We deal with the same constraints that every AI business deals with. So undeterministic behavior, hallucinations. Our helpers constantly are telling people that they're gonna do something when they won't do it. And obviously cost is a big one too. But how I think about it is that if you look at the long term, models will get more intelligent, they will become more capable, and they will be cheaper. So instead of focusing on fixing these things that I mentioned before, the 3 constraints, we really want to put all our effort into inputs, getting a clear goal for our users, gathering relevant context, and providing the best tooling for businesses there is. Okay, so now I guess the more fun part for the developers here in the audience, how we use AI. What I want to do here is, I guess, explain my thinking. I think about AI as just a way to multiply your leverage. You do things faster, you can do more things. And I'm just trying to use it everywhere I can. And it's not the super popular view, but it's my view, and I'm going to share how I do it with you today. My tool of choice, Cloud Code, don't think anything can beat that thing yet. There's nothing even close. You always go with dangerously skip permissions, so that it can always delete your code base if it needs to. And yeah, the first use case is, imagine you're trying to onboard a new code base. You don't know anything about it. Well, call agent is gonna spawn a bunch of sub-agents, gonna read the files in parallel, and come back to you with a summary. Incredibly powerful use case. And it's a basic one, but I'm just sharing it so that if there are people who aren't doing it yet, you should start doing it. It's a game changer. The next use case is another quite cool. Imagine data team guy comes to you asking, okay, how does this event work? Like, I want to know when it's getting fired, like, what are the props? How did you guys implement it? And I hate these questions, to be honest. That's why recently I just started sending them directly to Claude, like, come on, man, go look at it, tell me, come back with an answer. It comes back, I send it to the data team. They're like, oh my God, Arnas, you're so good. You're so fast, thank you. And it's another proper use case that I really recommend you guys try. And third one is borrowing IQ points. We're not that smart. We're pretty good, but like not super intelligent. So we also want to leverage the intelligence that is available on the market. The best tool I have for this is pre-and-deep research with the Pro model. Definitely worth paying that $200 price. Recommend. And it allows us to make good long-term decisions on the architecture we want to adopt, on choosing the right frameworks, and sometimes even helps us solve tricky bugs, tricky issues we would spend hours on beforehand. Now the S-tier use cases, my favorite. The first one is how we translated Sintra app to over 12 languages. We wanted to spend as little time as possible on this task, but have the best possible outcome. So what we did is we just kept the code base as is. Text is written in plain English, but we created a lint rule to cache that text and basically transform it in a way to store in our translations JSON. Then we merged that PR into our main branch, and Claude, the god, kicks in with a GitHub action and is able to identify all the strings, all the text that is not yet translated, and basically creates another PR, which we then merge. And here you go, the super easy way to have your app available in multiple languages. It took us maybe, I don't know, a week to implement. Been serving us now at least 6 months. Pretty good investment. Now, my most recent favorite use case is building AI. And why is my most favorite one? Because it started working super recently, like the right way. Here's the tool of choice. You have Figma Mockup, you have Cloud Agent, you have Chrome DevTools. Chrome DevTools basically allow you to launch a browser which the agent can control, can see what the screen looks like. And what you do is basically you send a mockup to the agent and you tell him, okay man, I have this design, please make no mistakes. And it turns out pretty good. Like last week, it implemented a brand new feature. I had to change, I don't know, maybe spend 10 minutes fixing things. So highly recommend. Now, I shared this because, as I mentioned, I want people to start using AI as much as possible. New people are coming into Sintra, and you see that people are not that fast to change. They're sticking to their old ways of working, but what I see is that sticking to those ways kind of loses you speed, and using these tools to get you leverage puts you ahead a lot. So the people who come into Sintra, we really try to train them to use these tools as much as possible. We want to get all the leverage out of them. And let me now talk about what's next for Sintra. It's going to be pretty simple, but we're playing the long game. In the game theory, there is a concept of infinite games and finite games. In finite games, your goal is to win. Infinite games, your goal is to keep playing. And our view is that we're not looking for an exit. We're not looking for anything shiny. We're looking to build a great company right here in Lithuania and keep playing this game, keep helping people build a good business and solve this problem for entrepreneurs in the entire world. Now, also really want Sintra to become the app if you want to start a business, if you're scaling a business, if you're having any sorts of constraints. This should be the go-to app where you go to fix it, like Duolingo is for language learning and Shopify is for e-commerce. This is the vision. Sintra also has to be the place where all the top AI talent goes in Lithuania, from around Europe. We're investing heavily in that. We're trying to teach our people to use the right tools. We constantly share our ideas, what everyone is working on, creating workflows, and that's the vision we want to keep doing. And obviously, as you saw from these very different slides, brand is quite important for us. We're trying to make it cool to build a business, make it cool to work at Sintra, and we're gonna keep investing heavily. So thank you for watching, guys, and if you want to join us, if you're a good developer, like crazy good developer, you have until Sunday to do a trial task, so please apply.
Thank you very, very much, first of all. Great presentation. And, sorry. If I may, I would like to steal a question since I do have microphone privileges. Um, you mentioned that you guys are, I'm not going to say struggling, but you see that people don't like to change their ways and are having some, let's say growing pains when dealing with AI. How do you guys deal with this as, a small-ish startup?
Well, since we are small, we're quite tightly connected, so we're just trying to integrate people as much as possible. We try to work closely with each other, and I guess each step, I like ask you, have you tried doing this with AI? Have you tried using Cloud Code? Like, what were your processes? And just continue shoving this into people's minds, I guess. Yeah.
So it's mainly like a company culture more than anything.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
As a small business, have you tried Sintra AI to improve your working processes?
Yeah, I don't personally have a small business, but the cool part is that my mom does, and she was a small business owner like her entire life. And I saw, like my entire life growing up, I saw her struggles. She like always worked a lot, but in 20 years, I wouldn't say that a lot of like success was achieved. Like I mentioned, she just created a job for herself that she couldn't really quit and was paying okay-ish. So now my mom is using Sintra. She's seeing great success with our social media manager, and it just makes it super cool to build.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I have two questions, major questions. First is, have you tried to use autonomous agents like Codex, something like that, alongside with Cloud Code?
Yeah, so we do use Cloud Code, I personally, every day. We do use Cursor. About Codex, nah, we didn't, because the reviews weren't just that good online, and the setup process was not as smooth either. So I just stuck with what I know best.
Okay, and the second question. You mentioned that you have about 50 people on board in your company, in your team, yes, and could you estimate real number of FTEs, given the fact that you use Cloud Code and Cursor as a second-hand agents, as a, I would say, hybrid team? Did you try to estimate real amount of people, number of people?
So your question is basically, how many people would it take to produce the same output as we do with our current?
Maybe you can estimate your real power for development, power for development. Technically, it's like efficiency of AI usage, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, to be honest, that we haven't tried to estimate that. We're focusing on building product mostly. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, thank you for presentation. I have a question, just wondering, why Sintra? Maybe there is a story why the company called Sintra?
There is a story.
Thank you.
So the story behind Sintra is our founder, Chris. He was in Portugal back when the whole thing started, and he was driving back from Portugal, stopped in Berlin, and thought of what could I name the startup, and Sintra just sounded cool.
One question here.
Yeah, so this time a harder question. Is there any specific way how you ensure quality? So you told the story about using the AI to create the new translation units. Have you used anything to ensure that those translations actually make sense and are not hallucinated?
So actually no. What we did do is, like, one of the languages we chose to translate is Lithuanian, and Lithuanian is definitely not the best language to translate with LLMs. But what we're saying, like, I use our app in Lithuanian daily, and it's just good. Like, everything is translated perfectly. So I guess we just use vibes.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
So you're mostly focused on developing things, but how do you ensure that you know the market needs? How do you know what these small businesses need?
Yeah, what I didn't include in this presentation because it would get too long is how close we are to our customers. One example of that is you constantly gather feedback from them, constantly do interviews, but I guess the biggest extent we went to is when we were in San Francisco. Chris was flying around US and doing at-home documentaries of our users, like literally seeing how they live, how they work, how they're using our product. And it was quite eye-opening because a lot of like ideas I shared about solving the getting customers problem, solving the saving time problem, they all went from that experience of him filming those documentaries and the team watching them. Yeah.
Do you have some geographies which are like target for you, or do you target the whole world?
So I wouldn't say like obviously US is the biggest market for us, but we aren't like focused only on US. We allow people from the entire world. It's just that in English-speaking countries is the easiest to get those people.
I guess the needs are also different in different countries.
The difference of what?
The needs in different countries might also be different
Yeah,
because of regulation and all that stuff.
That is true, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question in the back there.
Thanks for the presentation. If I'm not a developer, can I still join Sintra?
Yeah, you can. Glad you asked. You can go to sintra.ai/careers and you'll see all the open positions there. Thanks for the question.
Thank you guys. Give it up for Arnas from Sintra one more time, founding engineer.